Why don't you like the first sentence?
Well, read it.
Your ox was used. Oh, I was looking at the number.
Oh, no.
Your ox was used by a man for. Was there a sentence before? Okay,
Yes.
and Abaye further says that if one witness says to someone, "Your ox was used by a man for an act of bestiality and is therefore unfit for an offering," and the owner of the ox, is silent, the witness is deemed credible. And the Tana of the Mishnah also taught, and with regard to an animal that was used for a transgression or that killed, if this is attested to by one witness or by the owner, he is deemed credible. The Gemara clarifies this case. What are the circumstances of this case of the Mishnah where the knowledge is established by one witness? If the owner admits to the claim, this is the same as by the owner. Rather, is it not referring to a case where the owner remains silent?
Yeah, it has to be. Because you
Yeah.
would say it by the owner instead of like by a witness. The Gemara comments, and each of these statements of Abaye is necessary, as had he taught us only that first case where the witness said someone ate forbidden fat, one might have said that he is deemed credible for the following reason. Were it not for the fact that he himself was convinced that he had committed the transgression, he would not commit the transgression of bringing a non-sacred animal to the temple courtyard on the basis of testimony of one witness. Consequently, his silence is evidently an admission.
He himself was convinced he had committed a transgression, so he just remained silent.
Yes.
But if the witness said, "Your ritually pure foods were rendered ritually impure," and the accused was silent, we would say, the reason that he is silent and refrains from denying the claim is that he thinks he is not suffering any significant loss, as the food is fit for him to eat on his days of ritual impurity, because he is not required to destroy ritually impure foods. So he's like, whatever, sure, my food is impure, okay.
And had Abaye taught us only that the case of your ritual pure food was rendered ritually impure, one might have said that the reason this witness was deemed credible is that he causes him a loss on his days of ritual purity, and therefore his silence is tantamount to a confession. But in the case of his ox was used by a man for an act of bestiality, the owner of the ox can say, with regard to his animal, not all the oxen stand ready to be sacrificed as an offering to the altar. Perhaps one would think that the owner does not bother denying the claim because he merely forfeits the possibility of sacrificing his ox as an offering, which he considers an inconsequential matter. It is only if there were two witnesses to the act that the animal is put to death. Why is the animal put to death?
I know, what? It's an innocent creature.
It didn't do anything. Whereas here there was only one witness. It is therefore necessary for Abaye to specify all these cases.
That's so sad.
Not a win for the ox.
No. Also, the fact that the man is okay with it, he's like, whatever, I have lots of oxen and some other ones can be used for rituals, and I love this one. So weird. What does it mean when they do this symbol? Because they don't do it all the time.
Just on the second page, I think.
Okay. A dilemma was raised before the sages. If a husband is told by one witness that his wife committed adultery and the husband remains silent, what is the halacha? Abaye said the witness is deemed credible. Rava said he is not deemed credible. Why not? Because it is a matter involving forbidden relations, and there is no matter of testimony for forbidden sexual relations that can be attested to by fewer than two witnesses.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
that protects everybody.
Yeah. Abaye said, from where do I say this claim of mine? It happened that there was a certain blind man who would review Mishnayot before Mar Shmuel. One day the blind man was late for him and was not arriving. Mar Shmuel sent a messenger after him to assist him. While the messenger was going to the blind man's house by one way, the blind man arrived at the house of study by a different route, and therefore the messenger missed him and reached his house. When the messenger came back, he said that he had been to the blind man's house and saw that his wife committed adultery. The blind man came before Mar Shmuel to inquire whether he must pay heed to this testimony. Mar Shmuel said to him, if the messenger is trusted by you, go and divorce her. But if not, do not divorce her.
Yeah, that's what I think. It all comes down to trust.
Yeah, but this is one witness instead of two. So Mar Shmuel
Yeah.
is it's okay to have only one witness.
Abaye comments, what is it not correct to say that this means that if he is trusted by you that he is not a thief but is a valid witness, you must rely on him? This would prove that a single witness can testify in a case of this kind. And Rava explains that Mar Shmuel meant, if he is trusted by you like two witnesses, go and divorce her, but do not divorce her. Consequently, Rava maintains that this episode affords no proof.
Okay, so I was just like, well, he has to be really trusted.
Yeah,
Really, really trusted.
it's good for two witnesses.
And Abaye said, "From where do I say this claim of mine? As it is taught in a Baraita, an incident occurred with King Yanai, who went to the region of Kochalet in the desert and conquered 60 cities there. And upon his return, he rejoiced with a great happiness over his victory. And he subsequently summoned all the sages of the Jewish people and said to them, our ancestors, in their poverty, would eat salty food when they were busy with the building of the temple. We too shall eat salty foods in memory of our ancestors. And they brought salty food to the table of gold and ate." Cool.
Okay. And there was one person present, a scoffer, a man of an evil heart, and a scoundrel called Eleazar ben Poira. And Eleazar ben Poira said to King Yanai, King Yanai, the hearts of the Pharisees, the sages, are against you. In other words, they harbor secret resentment against you and do not like you. The king replied, And what shall I do to clarify this matter? Eleazar responded, Have them stand by wearing the front plate between your eyes. Okay. Since the front plate bears the divine name, they should stand in its honor. Yanai, who was a member of the priestly Hasmonean family, also served as high priest, who wears the front plate. He had the Pharisees stand by wearing the front plate between his eyes. His
Now there was
eyes or their eyes? Like each of their
his
eyes.
eyes. It's not over. I don't know. Now there was a certain elder present called Yehuda ben Gedidya. Gedidya? Gedidya.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Yehuda ben Gedidya said to King Yanai, the crown of the monarchy suffices for you. You should be satisfied that you are king. Leave the crown of the priesthood for the descendants of Aaron. The Gemara explains this last comment as they would say that Yanai's mother was taken captive in Modi'in, and she was therefore disqualified from marrying into the priesthood, which meant that Yanai was a halal. And the matter was investigated and was not discovered, i.e., they sought witnesses for that event, but none were found. And the sages of Israel were expelled in the king's rage due to this rumor.
Well, good. The king seems innocent. And Eleazar ben Poira said to King Yanai, such is the judgment of a common person in Israel. In other words, merely expelling a slanderer is appropriate if the subject of the slander is a commoner. But you are a king and a high priest. Is this your judgment as well? Yanai replied, And what should I do?
Uh-oh.
Eleazar responded, If you listen to my advice, crush them. Yanai countered, But what will become of the Torah? Why is he asking about that? He retorted, Behold, it is wrapped and placed in the corner. Anyone who wishes to study can come and study. We have no need for the sages. Oh, they
It's
thought only the
all the
sages could read the Torah or something?
yeah. Well, no. It's just because all the sages were there, so nobody would be able to understand the Torah the way the sages had, because it's literally all of the sages. Like
Okay,
not another teacher anywhere else.
apparently.
It's like if you it's like that joke, if you take all the animals out of the jungle, can you cross the alligator infested waters? Because you can, because they're all out of the jungle. Okay.
Yeah.
The Gemara interjects. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzhak says immediately heresy was injected into Yanai, as he should have said to Elazar ben Poira. This works out well with regard to the written Torah, as it can be studied by all on their own. But what will become of the oral Torah? The oral Torah is transmitted only by the sages. The Baraita continues. Immediately the evil arose and caught fire through Elazar ben Poira, and all the sages of the Jewish people were killed. Uh-oh. And the world was desolate of Torah
Oh,
until Shimon ben Shatach came and restored the Torah to its former glory. This completes the Baraita.
simply because
We lost the whole Torah
what
and
but
mentioned it right
what did
here.
he do? The evil rose and caught fire, and all the sages, oh, they were killed instead of just being sent away.
Yeah.
So I guess we lost the Torah because nobody knew how to speak it.
Uh-oh.
Somehow Shimon ben Satach knew it. It's like, did anyone ever tell it to him?
I don't know. I have to find out.
Abaye asks, What are the circumstances of this case? How did those who conducted the investigation refute the rumor that Yanai's mother had been taken captive? If we say that two witnesses said that she was taken captive, and two others said that she was not taken captive, what did you see that you rely on these who said that she was not taken captive? Instead, rely on these who said that she was taken captive. Okay, in such a scenario, one cannot say definitively that the matter was investigated and found to be false. Why should we believe the two? Like, if there's two and two, why is he telling us to believe the two that said yes, she was?
Two witnesses rely on these who said that she was taken captive. Why? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
There's no real reason given.
Rather, it must be referring to one witness who testified that she was taken captive and two who testified that she was not taken captive. And the reason that the lone witness is not deemed credible is only that he is contradicted by the other two, from which it may be inferred that if not for the fact, he would be deemed credible. This supports Abaye's claim that the uncontested lone witness is deemed credible in the case of this kind.
Well, these better be truth-telling witnesses then, because anybody could gang up on someone else.
Yeah.
It's getting really slow. And Rava could reply that this incident affords no proof, for the following reason. Actually, one can say that there were two witnesses who testified that she was captured, and two who testified that she was not. And the case was decided in accordance with that which Rav Acha ben Bar Rav Minyumi says in a different context, that it is referring to conspiring witnesses.
Uh-oh.
That's what I was saying. The second pair of witnesses did not contradict the testimony of the first pair, but established them as liars by stating that the first pair were not there to witness the event. This is not what I was thinking of. This serves to disqualify the testimony of the first pair altogether. Here, too, it is referring to witnesses who rendered the first set conspiring witnesses.
Uh-oh.
But they better have proof to show that they were conspiring.
That's what they're saying. They said they found the proof that they were.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you wish, say that this is in accordance with the version of the story stated by Rabbi Yitzhak. As Rabbi Yitzhak says, they replaced Yanai's mother with a maidservant. The first witness saw Yanai's mother was about to be taken captive, but the second pair revealed that she had actually been replaced with a maidservant, thereby negating the testimony of the first set.
So she was in the end replaced.
She was replaced with a maidservant. Yeah.
Or she's not a full-on daughter of priests or something like that.
I guess. I don't know.
Rava says, from where do I say my claim that one does not rely on a lone witness in matters of forbidden relations? As we learned in a Baraita, Rabbi Shimon said, an incident occurred with regard to a water reservoir of Diskim in Yavni, which had the presumptive status of being complete, i.e., they thought it contained 40 seah, the requisite amount for a ritual bath, and they measured it after a time, and it was found to be deficient, as it contained less than that amount.
No. With regard to all immersions of ritual purification performed in the reservoir before it was mentioned, Rabbi Tarfon would render them ritually pure, and Rabbi Akiva would render them ritually impure. The two sages discussed the matter. Rabbi Tarfon said the ritual bath retained the presumptive status of being whole throughout this period, and you are coming to declare it deficient in the past out of uncertainty. Do not deem it deficient out of uncertainty. Rabbi Akiva said in response, this person who immersed himself in the ritual bath retained the presumptive status of being ritually impure before he immersed. You are coming to purify him out of uncertainty. Do not deem him ritually pure out of uncertainty.
So either the bath itself is uncertain, or the person is uncertain.
The idea is, yeah, you can't figure out what they're focusing on two different things. I actually think this was really funny. I really like that.
I mean, because they're in the end, it's still not measuring up. That's
Right.
the real thing. Rabbi Tarfon said in a response, there is a parable that illustrates this. A priest was standing and sacrificing offerings on the altar, and it became known that he is the son of a divorced woman or the son of a chalutza. The halacha is that his earlier service before this discovery remains valid. Rabbi Akiva said, a more accurate parable is that of a priest who was standing and sacrificing on the altar, and it became known that he is blemished. In this case, the halacha is that his earlier service is disqualified. Yeah, because one is like he probably knew he was blemished, and the other one he didn't know that he was the son of a divorced woman. Maybe he didn't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Rabbi Tarfon said, you compared the case of a ritual bath found to be deficient to that of a blemished priest, whereas I compared it to the case of a son of a divorced woman or the son of a chalutza. Let us see to which case it is similar. If this case is similar to that of the son of a divorced woman or the son of a chalutza, let us treat it like the son of a divorced woman or the son of a chalutza. If it is similar to the case of the blemished priest, let us treat it like that of the blemished priest.
So they have to argue more.
They just haven't figured out which case is more similar.
Rabbi Akiva began to analyze the matter. The disqualification of a ritual bath is by the testimony of an individual, as witnesses are not required to establish that a bath is deficient, and likewise the disqualification of a blemished priest with regard to performing the temple service is by the testimony of an individual. And do not let the halacha of the son of a divorced woman or the son of a chalutza prove otherwise, as his disqualification is by the testimony of two witnesses. Two witnesses are required to testify about one's mother to disqualify him from performing the temple service. One is insufficient. So two witnesses had to watch her be divorced or something.
No, the two witnesses had to say that she was the problem.
How
Yeah,
would she be the problem?
yeah. Sorry, you're right. To be divorced, you're
Okay.
right. Alternatively, one could say the disqualification of a ritual bath is due to the bath itself. And similarly, the disqualification of a blemished priest is due to the priest himself. And do not let the halakha of the son of a divorced woman or the son of a chalutza prove otherwise, as his disqualification is due to others, through his mother. Rabbi Tarfon said to him, Akiva, anyone who separates from you is as though he is separated from life itself. Rabbi Tarfon was impressed by Rabbi Akiva's explanation and accepted it. This concludes the Baraita.
That's
Basically,
cute. Did he just give him a nice compliment?
he did. He did.
Oh, it is as though he is separated from life itself. That's like the highest compliment ever.
Like, I can't imagine being separated from you. That's sweet.
So, okay, in the end, what did they?
Akiva was correct. They just decided it was Akiva. Akiva was
But which the disqualification bath is due to the bath itself, blemished.
so it's been disqualified this whole time. That they were not they could not be ritually pure from an impure bath the whole time.
So, but like, did they decide if the blemished priest or the divorced woman was better? Was a
The
better example?
the blemished priest was a better example because it was by his fault.
Oh yeah,
And
because
the
himself
ritual bath
admitted it. Yeah.
is the bath's fault.
Okay. The bath's fault. The Gemara returns to the topic at hand. What are the circumstances with regard to this blemished priest, whose disqualification is by means of an individual witness? If the priest denies his claim, maintaining that he is not blemished, is a lone witness deemed credible? Rather, it must be that the priest remains silent and therefore is considered to have admitted to the accusation.
And similarly, with regard to the son of a divorced woman or the son of a chalutza, it must be referring to one who is silent. And yet the Braita teaches the disqualification of a ritual bath is by the testimony of an individual, and likewise the disqualification of a blemished priest with regard to performing in the temple service is by the testimony of an individual. And do not let the halakha of the son of a divorced woman or the son of a chalutza prove otherwise, as his disqualification is by the testimony of two witnesses. This indicates that if the person under scrutiny himself remains silent, one witness is insufficient to disqualify him.
Hmm. And Abaye could have said in response to this proof, actually, both cases deal with an individual who denies the witness's testimony, and that which you said, why is the witness deemed credible when he says that this priest is blemished? It is referring to a case where the witness said to him, remove your clothes and show us that you are not blemished. Since this is a matter that can be investigated, the witness is deemed credible. Because if he were lying, the priest could prove it. And this explanation is consistent with that which the Baraita teaches. The disqualification of a ritual bath is due to the bath itself, and similarly, the disqualification of a blemished priest is due to the priest himself, as he himself can be examined. And do not let the halakha of the son of a divorced woman or the son of a chalutza prove otherwise, as his disqualification is due to others.
The Gemara asks a question with regard to the halakha of the Baraita. And from where do we derive that the service of the son of a divorced woman or the son of a chalutza is valid after the fact? Rabbi Huda says, Shmuel says, as the verse states, with regard to Pinchas the priest, and it shall be for him and his seed after him, the covenant of everlasting priesthood, which includes both fit seed and unfit seed. This teaches that the service of a priest is valid after the fact, even if he was disqualified.
That's nice.
Yeah. It's a win for the priest.
Like, it can also be a problem if they really were like a bad priest in the end. I don't know. Like they're still like able to be in service or something.
Oh no, not once they're figured out. Like not once it's found out that they're
Okay.
yeah.
Shmuel's father said that the proof text is from here. It states in the blessing of the tribe of Levi, bless Lord his substance, chilo, and accept the work of his hands. The word chelo is expounded as including even the service of his profane ones, chulin, which God will accept after the fact. That's nice. Again, it's like
Rabbi Yanai said, the source is from here. A verse stated with regard to the first fruits, and you shall come to the priest who shall be in those days. But can it I don't understand why that means that, but okay.
right. Oh yeah, I lost my internet entirely. Um,
Oh no.
I thought because I have my Ethernet thing in, but I also have the Wi-Fi on, so I thought that maybe the Wi-Fi was just on, and it wasn't picking up the Ethernet, but whatever. Um, so yeah, I kind of just missed that whole paragraph.
That's okay. You want me to read it again?
Yeah, yeah.
Rabbi Yanai said, the source is from here. A verse stated with regard to the first fruits, and you shall come to the priest who shall be in those days. But can it enter your mind that a person can come to a priest who is not alive in his days? What then is the meaning of the phrase in those days? Rather, this is referring to a fit priest who later became established as a halal. All his previous days of service are considered those of a fit priest. Again, not sure why that's the situation, but sure, okay, we can say that that's the proof text for
I
it.
guess they're thinking of every possible scenario. Now they're like really fixated on the what about a priest that's divorced, or like from a divorced mother?
Yeah,
The Gemara continues its analysis of the Baraita. From where do we derive that the service of a blemished priest is retroactively invalid? See, now they just can't get this out of their minds.
yeah.
Rav Yehuda says that Shmuel says, as the verse states with regard to Pinchas, wherefore say, behold, I give to him my covenant of peace, which means that he receives the covenant when he is whole, shalem, but not when he is blemished and lacking a limb.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Yeah,
The
no, that
Gemara comments, but shalom is written rather than shalem. Rav Nachman says, the letter vav in the word shalom is severed. According to tradition, this letter is written with a break in it, and therefore the word can be read as though the vav were missing.
is actually, yeah, no, that's a huge thing. Um, the literally the way that it's written, that according to tradition, that vav specifically has a break.
In the word shalom,
Yes.
what does it look like? Like something like that, where there's like a
Let's
gap?
find it. Hold on.
I wonder if they have it up here.
No, they won't have it broken in there.
So
For,
just because it
for,
can be written broken, that means that it has to be shalem? Or which one are they saying is it then all the
here it is.
time?
Here it is. Here it is. This is what it looks like. It's broken.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely, definitely heard of this before.
huh. I think I've never seen anybody write it that way before.
Well, no, only in this one verse is it written that way.
In this verse in Numbers.
Yes.
Okay. So as the verse states with regard to Pinhas, wherefore before, which means that he receives the covenant when he is whole, but not when he is blemished. The Gemara comments, but shalom is written rather than shalem. So, um, so he's always whole and not blemished, I think is what they're trying to support.
Well, that he's considered whole beforehand and blemished afterwards, once he knows. He receives the covenant when he is whole, but not when he is blemished.
But shalom is written rather than shalem. The letter vav in the word is.
Which means that it can be understood as both whole and severed.
Okay, well, but not when he is blemished. Well, okay, I thought they were supporting that he was still whole even after he was
Oh no,
blemished.
they're not doing that. They're not nice like that.
No.
Mishnah. There's a principle with regard to the halachot of lineage. Any case where there is a betrothal, i.e., where the betrothal takes effect and the marriage involves no transgression by Torah law, the lineage of the offspring follows the male, his father. And in which case is this acceptable? For example, this case with regard to the daughter of a priest, or the daughter of a Levite, or the daughter of an Israelite who married a priest, a Levite, or an Israelite. In all of these cases, the child's lineage is established by his father's family.
Okay, regarded to the daughter of a priest, so they become Levites.
Yeah.
And any case where there is a valid betrothal, and yet there is a transgression, the offspring follows the flawed parent.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Sorry.
what? And in which case is this applicable? For example, this is the case of a widow who is married to a high priest, or a divorced woman, or a chalutza who is married to a common priest, or a mamzeret, or a Gibeonite woman who is married to an Israelite, or an Israelite woman who is married to a mamzer or to a Gibeonite. In these situations, the child inherits the status of the blemished parent. Okay, so you have a Gibeonite mother, then you're not Jewish. Well, I guess, I mean, if we
It's
think
not that you're
about,
not Jewish, it's just you inherit the status.
It could be a Gibeonite man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in any case where a woman cannot join in betrothal with a particular man, as the betrothal does not take effect, but she can join in betrothal with others, the woman is considered a member of the Jewish people and can marry other Jews. In these cases, the offspring is a mamzer. And in which case is this applicable? This is one who engages in intercourse with any of those with whom relations are forbidden that are written in the Torah. And in any case where a woman cannot join in betrothal with him or with others, the offspring is like her. He is not considered his father's son at all, but has the same status as his mother. And in which case is this applicable? This is the offspring of a Canaanite maid servant or a Gentile woman, as her child is a slave or a Gentile like her. If he converts, he is not a mamzer.
Why couldn't a woman cannot join in betrothal with a particular man as a betrothal, but she can join in betrothal with others? Like, what's wrong with this one man?
No, no, no. So for whatever reason, like she's not allowed to be with that one. Like it's not like for Torah reasons. This is not somebody that she's allowed to marry, but she can marry other people. Um, the woman is still considered Jewish, can marry other Jews, but the offspring is considered a mamzer.
Why? She didn't even marry the first person.
No, no, that is where the child comes through the first one. So she wasn't supposed to have been able to betroth herself to him, but she did. So the child is now considered a mamzer.
Oh, yeah, they didn't say that. They didn't say
No,
that
they
the
didn't,
child
but
of the union was that there was a previous child. Okay, that makes more sense. If he converts, he's not a mamzer. Gemara. The Mishnah teaches that any case where there is betrothal and the marriage involves no transgression, the lineage of the offspring follows the male. Rabbi Shimon said to Rabbi Yochanan, is it an established principle that any case where there is betrothal and there is no transgression, the offspring invariably follows the male? But
we'll find out tomorrow.
we will.
I
Thank you.